Facebook group. Okay, so today we're going to talk about SmartPlans. One thing that I like people to think about is really, what we do normally. So when you guys think about what processes or what systems you use, whether it's open houses or if it's, just new business, what type of plans do you guys already have in place?
I don't have any.
Okay.
What plans do we have in place? We're just starting this, Sarah. We're really trying to.
I got the birthday, the anniversary, and I haven't used the neighborhood one.
Well, I'm even thinking not in command.
Oh.
When you meet people at an open house, or if you do expireds or for sale by owners or just new business, what type of system do you guys use to keep in touch with people?
Buffini. We send out a monthly, we just started it about a little over a year ago, monthly letter and an email. And then we do 2 touches.
So one thing to show you, if we look at, this is a little bit confusing, but on the left-hand side, this is a breakdown based on the MREA book. So I'll just zoom in a little bit. So this is our lead generation model for a solo agent. So you have prospecting and marketing, and that brings you into what we're calling the captured category. You've captured them in your funnel. So we break that down into, it used to be called METs and haven't METs. So our METs are our contacts and haven't METs are our leads. So our leads are people that it's a one-way conversation. So maybe they've reached out to you online, or they've clicked on a button somewhere or in an ad, but you have never met and you have not had any sort of two-way conversation. Once you've had that two-way conversation, they become a contact, and that's when you become connected with them. Then we move into the cultivate stage. That's when we're nurturing the lead, working through the process. And then we go through and we have appointments, either an active listing or their buyers, looking at homes, making offers, going to when we're under contract and when we're closed. Believe it or not, these are all part of command throughout the different systems. So if I shift over to this side, when we created this graphic, what we did is we took the same model from before and we added in all the different parts of command, right? So you can see that our prospecting and marketing, that's going to include our websites and landing pages, the campaigns, emails, social posts, all of that. Referrals, any designs that we do, again, that are going to go out in our emails or that are going to be printed or that we put out on social media. So that's bringing them in to be captured. And then we have our contacts and our leads. Again, we're going to put them on a smart plan so that we're cultivating those leads, and then we can start into opportunities, which we're going to go over a little bit tomorrow. Opportunities are going to bring us from the appointment through the closing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Maybe a little. I mean, I know it's a lot on the page. So when we look at that, when we look at SmartPlans, I suggest that you make a list of all the things you do, break it down by category. So if you are talking about, again, open house leads or sign calls or people coming to your website or responding to a Facebook ad or just your sphere. We used to talk about a 33 touch plan and a 12 direct and an 8x8. And we still have some of those, but they're broken up a little bit differently. So if I go into SmartPlans, this is just the main screen of command. If I click on the red box with KW in it, it will drag out the whole menu for us so we can see everything. SmartPlans is the 4th icon down. It looks like a certificate to me.
Sarah, I'm sorry, what was it? You said you clicked to bring all those up?
The red box with KW in it.
Very clever.
And you could be on any screen and it will bring that up for you so you don't have to guess. If you hover over them, it'll tell you as well, but sometimes I think it's nice to just have a full overview where you can see them all. Now the page that opens here, these are all of the SmartPlans that I have added or created. So you might have none here, and that's fine too. Eventually, these 4 categories across the top will function. Right now, they don't. Everything is under the category of people plan. And all of these things are right here: referral plans, opportunity plans, and listing plans. They're just categories to separate if you wanted to have a little bit of organization. Up at the top, we have my smart plans in the library. So my smart plans are things that I've added in, that I've chosen that I want to use. Library is what Keller Williams is offering to us right now. So right now there's 10. You have one that's just promoting your app. You have the biweekly and the monthly neighborhood nurture, the 8x8, quarterly call plan, midterm nurture, long-term nurture, birthday, open house follow-up, and home anniversary. Now we're going to talk about triggers in a minute. Right now, the only triggers that work in Command are for the home anniversary and the birthday. Eventually, once they finish developing it, the triggers are going to be quite an amazing feature for us, because we could create a plan that would be triggered when a client goes under contract, or if a client closes on a home, and that would start the process. They'd automatically go onto a plan. But for right now, once you add someone to a birthday plan or a home, this is the anniversary of when they purchased a home, when that comes into play, it automatically goes by the date in their contact record. So with this, you can see there's 6 steps on the birthday plan. It goes for 6 days, and there's 4 touches that actually reach the client. Eventually, people are going to be able to sell their plans, but you can see that this is from Keller Williams and it's free. So I have 2 buttons at the bottom. Viewing steps, this will show me the different steps. So the first one is a task that I'm going to go out and buy and write a handwritten note to them for their birthday. Then there's a delay of 4 days, then a phone call. And what you see up here, I'll explain what this means, but this is how it would come up in your task menu. So you're going to call them, then you're going to have a delay, and then you're going to send them a text message and a social post for their birthday. Now, if you decide you want to add this to your library, you're going to click Add Smart Plan, and then you have to name it. So I already have the birthday smart plan in there, so I'm not going to add it, but all you would do is hit Apply. You could change the name of it, and that works with any of them. So what I like about this, these are all pre-made for you. They're all slightly different. So I can see that if someone comes to the open house, right, I've got quite a decent amount of steps going in there. There's only 7 touches that reach the client. It goes for 21 days and there's 15 steps. So again, all you do is you could pick all of them, or you could pick one. You would just hit Add to Smart Plan and name it. And then it's going to move. It's going to always stay here in your Keller Williams library, but it'll move into your library, which is called My Smart Plans. And this is what they look like. They just look like purple dots. Does that make sense to everybody?
Question before we go too deep.
Yep.
So you said the 2 triggers are birthday and anniversaries. So if I understand,
currently, yes.
If someone's birthday is, let's say, the end of April, at some point in time, it's going to appear on Linda's task.
Yes.
It hasn't been. Is there something maybe I haven't?
It should, if they're on the plan, if you've added them to the plan, it should appear, I think it said 6 days before.
Yeah. So it does say they're on the plan, and they weren't appearing. So I sent a trouble in to see why. So maybe I'm doing something wrong, but we'll do that later. Okay. Maybe you can help me walk it through.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So these here, what's showing up here under people plans, this is the people plan section. These are, I've added all of them. And at some point or another, I've added myself to all of them because I want to know what it looks like. Now, personally, I am holding off on sending out the biweekly neighborhood nurture and the monthly neighborhood nurture. And that for me is because in my area, the neighborhoods are not 100% accurate with the feed that's coming in. And this is stemming from a company called nextdoor.com. My belief is I think it works best in very urban areas. whereas where I live in Boxford, there's really no neighborhoods. So the data that's coming in isn't accurate. It'll say there's like one listing or something. So I'm not sending those out yet, but between the other smart plans that are there and creating my own smart plans, that's what I have been using. So I'm going to kind of show you both. So let's say I wanted to look at the birthday plan. So, you know, if I click on the arrow, again, it's going to show me all the steps that are part of it. But I'm going to come over here to where it has the pencil on the right-hand side, and it says edit. Now, because this is a pre-made plan, I can only edit so many things. It won't let me edit everything, but I can see even on the right-hand side, I can name it and I can change the text. I can't add any steps or delete them right now. So if I came in and I look at task 1, and it says it's called a birthday card, right? Birthday card for, and this would say Linda Hartnett. By doing it this way with what are called merge codes, it doesn't matter who I put on this plan, it will always say birthday card for and then the person's name. Merge codes live in these little areas that fall under its brackets with an F in it, okay? If I click on this box, it's going to tell me for this field, I have the ability to put first name, last name, email, phone number, contact, birthday, and home anniversary. These are all for the client. So again, what I could do is say, I wanted to add in their actual birthday. This would come in, it would say birthday card for Linda Hartnett, and then it would actually give the date of their birthday. What I like about that is, you know, we're trying to make things very personal, but again, have it systematized. So this way it's a little bit of both. So this is a task for me. So this is going to come up in my to-do list, and it's going to have the heading of birthday card for Linda Hartnett. And it's going to have a description that says, send a handwritten note to Linda Hartnett for their birthday this week on, and then the contact birthday date as part of the birthday smart plan. So I always know where this came from because they put that right in there. So that's going to happen. I'll just save that because I made a change, and I'm going to minimize it. There's a little arrow up here and I can minimize it. And to me, it just makes it a little bit more organized and easier for me to look at the whole plan. So I can see I have a task here. Then I'm going to delay for 4 days. You know, that way the mail can go. And then I have a call. So it's called birthday call for Linda Hartnett. I hope you don't mind, Linda. I'm just using you as an example here. And it says call, it'll say Linda Hartnett, and they give her phone number right there as part of the birthday smart plan. And again, then it's going to tell me the birth date. So we have day 1, we're going to send the card. Then we have a 4-day delay, and it's going to remind us to make a call. Then we're going to have a 1-day delay, and then it's going to be a social post. This is a reminder to us. It's not going to automatically post anything. It's going to say, you know, birthday social post for Linda Hartnett. When I click on the description, it'll say send a social post to Linda Hartnett for their birthday on whichever day. So this again is a reminder to you. At the same time, a text message is set up that says happy birthday. Now, again, if you have Twilio connected, that you have to pay for Twilio, it is, okay, let's go break down Twilio. It's an outside service. If you want a number that is either a Massachusetts phone number or New Hampshire, it's $1 a month, so $12 a year. And then the way that they charge you is like Easy Pass. So it's either $20 or $25. And then once you run through that amount, then they would charge you that amount again. Each text message, whether it's incoming or outgoing, is 0.00785 cents. So you can send and receive a lot of text messages in that $20. So again, it's $12 a year for the phone number if you don't want it to be a Texas phone number. And it's 0.00785 cents a text. And they charge you in increments of, it's either $20 or $25. I haven't gotten through my first $20 or my first charge yet, so.
Okay, just one question on that. So if I send it out and I don't sign up for Twilio, it says my text, happy birthday text came from a Texas number.
No, if you don't sign up for Twilio at all, what will happen is you will get a reminder in your task menu that says send a birthday text.
And I can send it myself.
You can send it yourself. This does it for me, so I don't have to do anything. It automatically is going to send it out. So I might come in and say, you know, happy birthday again, and put first name. You know, I hope you have a wonderful day.
Okay.
And this way, you know, I mean, that's kind of what I would say to someone anyway. So, but at least this way it's a little bit personalized. It says, happy birthday, Linda. I hope you have a wonderful day, instead of just happy birthday.
So you could put in your own text around the person's name, and then that text with the person's name will go out automatically for that really cheap price per text.
Right.
Okay.
And then because this is not my usual phone number, I might go ahead and now under this text field, I have the ability to put my first name and my last name in there. And that way, at least they'll see that number there. You know, they'll know who it is.
Just so you get to put your phone number in. So I'm confused where the Texas phone number comes in.
So it's against Federal Trade Commission does not allow you to use to have third parties use your actual cell phone number. So you can't sign up for Twilio and use your actual phone number. So it's a different, it'll be a different phone number. So if you don't want to pay for it, for the phone number, it will be a Texas phone number. I think it's worth $12 a year to pay for Massachusetts phone number.
But if I pay for it, then my phone number would come in there.
No, it'll be a different phone number. You get to choose the phone number, but it's against the Trade Commission. They will not allow you to use your own phone number.
So what phone number would I use?
Whichever one you get. You choose it when you go through the process.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
Sarah, are you recommending that we try Twilio, sign up for it now while we're starting this process in the beginning?
To me, it depends on the person. So I like it because I can set things up and it goes out automatically. At the same time, if I don't set things up and it's in there, it goes out automatically. So when I first signed up for it, now granted, I only put myself on the different plans because I wanted to see what was going to be sent out. I wanted to see what it looked like. And it was Thanksgiving, and I was at my parents' house in upstate New York. And so it was a Thursday. And I got a text message from myself that said, oh, I had an appointment that canceled for tomorrow. Would you like to meet for coffee? I'd love to get together. And I'm thinking, well, thank goodness it's only me who's getting this because I'm not even in the state. And what if this 500 people were on this plan? I mean, granted, I don't know that everyone's like, yay, I want to go for coffee with Sarah. But if you sent it to 500 people, chances are a couple people would be like, yeah, let's meet. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, you really need to make sure you know what you're sending. So to me, it's really good if you can just spend a few minutes going through each plan that you're going to use and make sure that you agree with all of the text. So again, just like here, I decided I didn't want it to just say happy birthday. I wanted to add in some more, but that's all it took for me to do it. I can save it and then come up to the top and hit save. And now I know I like it. So I'm happy with this going out just the way it is.
But you need, in order for it to go automatically, you'd need to have Twilio to do it. This would remind me to do it. Or if I had
right now,
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So that's the birthday plan. Now, some of these, okay, open house follow-up. Again, I'm just going to show you how these work. So this one, I can see at the top, it's 21 days total. There's 15 steps and 7 touches. So the steps also include the delays. So when you see that number and you're like, wait, what's making up these 15 steps? The delays will make that up too. So the first one, again, is a text message that goes out and it says, you know, hey, Frank, thanks for coming to. Now, I modified this one just as an example because I think if I'm using this for open houses, I might make a specific, like duplicate them and make a specific one for every open house. And this is what I'm personally torn with. If I just said, thank you for coming to the open house, well, they might have gone to 10 that day and they might not remember who I am. So that's why, you know, if it's easy enough to just hit duplicate and come in and you just make this part of your process and you would say, you know, I'll just put my address. Thanks for coming to 60 Herrick Road today. What did you think of the open house? And then just thank you in my name. Mm-hmm. So if I know, and I could, you know, make a different plan that reminds me to do this just to change the name.
And I have to attach that to the 20 people who came to the open house.
Yep. So when you put people in your system, I'll show you how you could do it all at once. As long as you input people in all at the same time. So this one, we're going to send out a text automatically, and then we're going to delay a day. And you'll notice with the delays, you have a maximum of 30 days that you can delay. So after the text and the next day, we're going to send an email. And I'm going to go through what some of the different functions are of each type, but I just wanted to show you how some of these work. So this would say, send an email to Frank Ford. And this is telling me, this is not actually going to send it. This is a reminder to me to send a nice to meet you at the open house email, you know, to Frank Ford at his email. Now, personally, I would delete this and I would make it an actual email, but that's neither here nor there. Then we have another delay for 2 days, and then it's a phone call. So a phone call, again, is a reminder to you that's going to say phone call with Frank Ford. Call open house lead to see if they are interested in any upcoming open houses. Again, you know, whatever you want to put there. Then there's a delay. Then there's another text. Then there's a delay. Then there's another call reminder, right? And this is how this smart plan goes through.
And these again appear on the task each day?
Yes. So I'm just going to go ahead and back out of this one for a second. So I am going to show you how to create a plan, but I created a plan right here called the 555. There's 3 different things that you're going to do, and the goal is you put at least 5 people on the plan every day. So every day after the first 3 days, you're going to be sending, you know, there's 5 tasks or 3 tasks you're going to be doing to all 5 people. With this one, if I were to add someone to it, so if I came in, and again, I can look at this one and it's going to say, it's the quarterly call, you know, to Linda Hartnett. Again, there's a script if I need it. The next month, it's going to be a social interaction. Make sure that I have some social media interaction with Linda. And then there's a delay. And the next month, it's going to be either a handwritten note or a text. And then I put in the text. And on this one, I put in 6 different, or I think I put in 4 different text messages. So each time, so if this was Linda, the first time Linda went through this, she would get this text. And then it's going to repeat. It's called Restart the Flow, and I have it repeating 4 times. So this would be a full year. The second time, she's going to get a different text. And the third time, she'll get a different text. So this is every 3 months, she's going to get a text from me, but they're going to be different. So the reason I was saying, if you take what plans you already have in place, whether it's a Buffini one, or if you just have what you do with a new client, or you look at the 33 touch that we used to use, whatever it is that works for you, make it into a plan. So if I came in and you had said to me, okay, what do we want to work on? Let's just pick something. You guys get to pick. Do you want it to be an open house lead, an expired, for sale by owner? Oh, you guys are on mute.
What about a person that came in on your website? So somebody came in yesterday on our website on Market Leader, And I
Yep.
did try to follow up like it told me to do. And then it looked like it was going to set something up for them, but I don't know where it is. And is that something that would be in here? Is that-
Possibly. So I know people are having this when they're doing these Facebook ads where they're getting a huge amount of leads. And I've said to people, well, what are you doing with them? And they go, look at me and they go, what do you mean? And I said, well, it's like having the open house and you get us, you know, all your sheets with everybody sign in and you never do anything with them.
Right, right.
It's the same thing. These people are paying for leads and they're not doing anything with them. So any of those. So you could put them on a combination of these different plans and you could come in and hit the create button. So when I hit create, I have to name it. So I'm just going to call it Sarah Test.
Just to create.
Okay.
And I hit apply. And you guys can follow along if you have command open. Otherwise, you can just watch for now. Now the triggers, once those come up, this is where you would say that the trigger could be once somebody goes under agreement. The smart plan will trigger off, and maybe once you have once the PNS is signed and they're under agreement, maybe an email goes out reminding them to change all their utilities and set up the movers. You know, whatever it is, that's what the triggers will do.
And that's triggered because it's a entry that you put in command.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So when we hit create, we have these 7 options here. We have create a task, make a call, send an email, send a text. Then we have set a delay, add to a different smart plan, or restart the plan. So when we really break it down and we think of each thing that we do as a separate, you know, it's like a workflow. How are we going to utilize these? There is right up here, if I zoom in, it says to see tips and rules for building the smart plan, to click here. And I am working to try to get Keller Williams to extend this out because I think it's a little bit limited. Okay, for instance, you can only have 2 tasks a day. So what if you want to have a task to yourself to confirm all of their information, and you want to send out both an email and a text message? You can't on one day. Okay, then you have send SMS. So send a text message. You need to have at least 1 day delay between text messages that automatically go out. Same with email. The biggest one really is you can restart the flow, but it has to be at least 14 days in length before it allow you to use the restart. And it has to be the last action, so you can't restart part of it. It has to be the whole thing. And you cannot have more than 7 touches in 7 days, 12 touches in 30 days, or 15 total in one smart plan. So when you think about building a 33 touch, well, that would be more than 15. And that's when we start using those restart flow options. So I know that's probably confusing. I think it'll make more sense as we go through. So the first part is I'm just going to show you creating a task. And all that I do is I click on it. So I clicked on create task and I get this here. Up at the top, I have 2 different options. I have a non-touch, meaning that it does not involve reaching out to the contact. And I have a touch task, which does reach out to the contact. So if you have a task that you're going to put into a plan, that's something you're doing that has nothing to do necessarily with the client, I would use a non-touch. It doesn't really make a difference. It's still going to show up the same, but that's just what the difference is here. So if you have a touch task, and the first thing could be confirm information. And again, then you can put their first name and their last name. And I have noticed that you need to, if I just delete this here, because for some reason it put the last name first. So I'll say first name, and then I'm going to put a space and then the last name. So when I didn't put the space, it inverted the first name and last name. So when I put a space after the first name and then added the last name, it did put them in the correct order. So then I could put it underneath whatever it is that we want to make sure we have. All the different things. Now, this is just to me, so this is a non-touch task that's making sure I confirm what information I have. If for some reason I wanted to add a website link in here, I could. I don't know what I would add in here. And I'm going to save it. So I just hit the green arrow and that saves it. So if I made a change, I would just hit the green arrow, green check mark, and then I'll minimize it. So after I confirm the information, I might want to go ahead and call them. So I'm not even going to put a delay. I'm going to put make a call. And I'm going to say call, again, first name, put the space, and then last name. And then here I'll put call and I'm going to add their phone number right in here so that I don't even have to look it up. If I wanted to, I could put a script in here. So if you had a Buffini script, whatever it is that you want to be your first thing, I'm going to show you where this comes in. So I'll just put right, you can add a script if you want to. So now that's going to save. And then how many days of a delay do you like to have after a phone call?
I don't know. I guess it depends on what you're calling about.
So to me, it's not maybe not an open house and not someone who just called you on a listing. Maybe it's just a sphere call.
A delay between calls, maybe 90 days?
90.
Well, it's not even calls. It would be between interactions.
Oh, between interactions, 15 days.
Probably
15 days?
Couple days?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I'm confused. I'm sorry.
What did you say, Frank?
I'm saying a couple. So you're following up on an action. So you
So you want to say
Oh,
5 days?
Okay.
2 days?
Something in that range. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the great thing is I can always come right back in here and edit that if I decided I need something. I don't have to start over. So then maybe I'm going to send a text message. Or do you want to do an email? What do you want to do?
Email.
Okay, so I'll pick email. So again, I just click on the box. Now this is already telling me it's day 3 because on the first day I confirmed their information and I called them. Then I have a delay for 2 days, so now I'm on day 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we have 2 different types of email. There's a simple email and an HTML email. So I'm going to go through simple first, and then I'm going to show you the HTML. So simple, I need to, first of all, make sure in my settings that my new command email is set up. And all we do is say, I want my command email to be, and for me, I put this email address. I need to have a subject. So we have to remember that this is going to be something that we don't change. It's going to go out automatically. So whatever it is you're going to write, you know, I'm just going to call it checking in. And then I'm going to start to write. So maybe I'll put hi, and then I'll put their first name, and then I'm going to put a comma. Just wanted to check in to follow up with you. And maybe I'm going to put, just for, you know, whatever, I'll put check out my website. And I'm doing that because I specifically want to show you something. This is not a fantastically written email here, but we'll just go with it. So first thing I can do is a very basic editing tools here. So if I were to come in, I could say I'm going to make something bold. I could make something a different color. So if I highlight this, I could come to color and I can scroll down and say, I really like orange today. I could make something italicized. Now the word website, I could highlight that and come under this link icon here. And I could put my website name, sarahherda.com, and add the link. And now this is a hyperlink. Now this is a very basic editor, but I could set this up and I don't have to worry about it because it's going to go out to everyone and say, hi, Frank, hi, Linda. Just wanted to follow up with you. I think I would write more than that in reality. Now that's a simple email. The HTML emails, we don't have a lot of control over right now. And I'm working with Keller Williams to have this changed a little bit because there are email templates in here that we can't modify or change, and they don't exist anywhere except for in here. So for instance, if I click on HTML, you'll see that my simple email message went away. It's still there, don't worry. I just have to click back on simple. When I click on HTML, the only option I have is to browse this library. Now you would think, if you've gone through enough command classes, that these would be available under designs, but I'm telling you, they really only exist here right now. I'm trying to fix that. So when I click on Browse Library, I get these 6 options. Opportunities email, work with me seller, work with me buyer, home anniversary, birthday, and promoting our new app. So I'm just going to click on one. It doesn't do anything if I double click on it. If I want to see what it is, I click on these dots and the only option I have is to preview it. Now, it's not a bad looking email. All of the things that look like it does up at the top, this is going to come from you filling out your profile and settings for command. So all of this will automatically come in. It says, when you're ready, I'm here to help. You have a cute graphic. It's going to come in and tell you a little bit about the process and about our company. This will go to a contact form. Again, your information, when you put in the link to your mobile app, that will come in, and then everything at the bottom will fill in from that profile again. So it's not a bad email at all. I think it actually looks really good. It's just I can't make any changes to it. Now, the only other thing that I can look at up here, which I think is kind of nice, these are responsive, it's called responsive design. So right now it's showing you what it'll look like on a computer. When someone opens their email on a computer, the middle one is what it's going to look like on a tablet. And the little one here is what it's going to look like on a phone. Still looks pretty good in any way. So what I would do is hit select template, and then I have to click next. So I can see right in here in my smart plan which email template I've chosen, and I could go back and say change. Again, I can't really make any exciting changes, but let's say I'm going to click on the home anniversary one, which just went to birthdays. I wouldn't use that one, but we'll just say fine. Let's look at the app one. Okay, so here you go here. It's talking about your mobile app. And again, all the information will fill in right from your marketing profile. So we could hit select there and hit next, and it'll show us the preview. But for me, I would want to pick what the picture looks like. This doesn't look to me like our area. If I have this house, I want to be looking at somewhere in California at the beach. It'll get there. But right now, and also I can't create something in designs and have it come here. So right now, HTML, we only have those 6 designs. Simple. I can write out what I want. It just doesn't look as fancy. HTML is going to be one of those 5. So that's the difference between those 2. So again, I can save it, and then I'm going to minimize it. So then I'll set a delay. So let's say, we waited 2 days between the call and the email. Maybe I'll wait 4 days. And I'm going to send a text message. So now I can see I'm on day 7. So day 1, I'm confirming their information and making a call. Then I wait 2 days. Then I'm checking in with an email. Then I'm going to wait 4 days. Now, again, it's telling me here that my Twilio account is connected. And I have two different options. I have static, which is a single text message, not recommended for repeating plans because you don't want this plan to repeat so many times throughout the year and they get the same text message over and over. Dynamic, you can set it up where they'll get up to 6 different text messages from you. So I'll come in and I'll say, hi, and I'll put their name. Again, this is, believe it or not, adding in their name makes the repeated systematic process a little bit more personal, at least on the consumer's end. So whatever our message is at this point, right? And again, we can add in whatever information is on here. So we could put our name, again, just put the space. We could also add in the KW app link. So that is our mobile app link. So if you wanted to, you could write, check out my mobile app, and then put the link. Whatever your message is. If we decide that we want to have up to 6 different messages because we're going to repeat this, then we want to choose dynamic. It'll keep that first text message in text number 1. And you can see it says right here, add more text messages to cycle through your repeating smart plan and avoid repeating messages to your clients. So text message 2 could be, you know, whatever it is you're going to write, right? You know, is the information I'm sending you most up to date? Is, you know, whatever your message is going to be. If you want to add more, you just hit this button, add another text option, and you can have up to 6 different ones. So let's say you do that, and then you're going to set a delay. So maybe it's 4 days again. And then you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to just restart the flow.
Is the delay between the 6 messages? You say delay from what?
Yeah. So what will happen here is, let's just say I'm going to repeat this 3 times. So now, oh, it won't let me. I have to add some more days in here because you need to have, at least 14 days in there. So what will happen in here if I just reduce this? This is my whole plan. So what's going to happen is I put Linda on the plan. Immediately, I'm going to get a message to confirm the information and a note to call her. And then in 6 days, I'm going to get a message, or it's going to automatically send out the email. So depending on, because I've said send email, if I have my command email set up, it'll automatically send out the email. And then 4 days will go by. And then because I have Twilio set up, the first text message will go out. And then it's going to wait 4 days. And then I'm going to get a reminder to confirm information and to call Linda. And then it'll wait 6 days. And then it'll send out an email. And then it'll wait 4 days. And then I'll get the next text. So text number 2.
Okay.
So you have to keep that in mind. So for instance, because I have an email in here, do I want this same email to go out every time? If no, I might decide, you know what, I'm going to delete it. And I might make it a reminder. So I would, because this way, if I want this to be a repeating thing and I want to make sure I'm on top of my relationship with Linda, I might want to make sure that I have to do this manually. So I could put in whatever my information is in there. And then what I want to do is I want to move it up. So I'm going to move it up before the text message and now in between the delay. So I have a call, delay, email, and then a delay, and then the text. So now what would happen is this would just keep happening. So if I save this, let's say I've decided this is the most amazing smart plan ever. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start adding people to it. So there are, at least 4 ways to add people. So just think, like anything on the computer, there's more than one way. So right while I'm here, I could click on this button. It looks like a little person with a plus sign. So if I click on that, and I can do search by name, 2 T's, correct? Yep. So I could say Linda, and I could add her here. I could hit add to SmartPlan. Another way I can do it, I'm going to back out. While I'm here on this page, when I go to my test thing here, I can hit the plus sign here, and I could do the same thing. Now I could search by tags. So if I wanted everybody in my farm, I could go in and do people this way as well. I could choose everybody who's on that farm. Or I'm going to come over to contacts. Okay, so let's say I got to whatever search I wanted to do in my contacts so that I have all the people I want on this, or I can come through and whether I choose one or however many, I can check the boxes and I can choose select bulk action and I can choose add to SmartPlan. And when I do, they all come up and I can choose it here. And this is my favorite. I'm going to show you yet again more ways to do it, but this is my favorite way and I'm going to show you why. So when I hit select, I get a third box down here. I can say, do I want all 4 of these people to start right now? Do I want these 4 people to start on a specific day? And I came through and pick the day. Or do I want to stagger it? So let's say, because, you know, if I'm putting 50 people on this plan and I have a call in there, do I want to have to call 50 people that day? No. So I might say, you know, and I could choose however many people. I only have 4 people that I've selected, so that's why it's only going up to 4. Every day it will add however many I choose here to that plan. So I'm not overwhelmed with 50 people that I have to call on one day. That was in eEdge, that was my biggest, just horrible nightmare, was how many people were gonna pop up in my face. Call this person, call this person, call this person. Okay, really quickly, another way to do it.
Okay, one more question now. When you save those 4 people, will it show up that there's 4 people on that plan, like as a number?
Yes.
Okay.
And I can click on that number and it'll show me who.
And who, okay, good. So that's happening, it's just not working, I guess.
Okay, the other way I can do this, if I'm in the contact record, so you can see, Linda, I don't have very much on you because I just imported the roster from the office. So I have your information that's in there. And I have you as tagged as an agent, a KW agent, and you're with Keller Williams Andover, right? So I've got some information. At the top here, I could either delete you. Now, deleting in command works like it does on most computers. When you put something in the trash, it's still there. It's not totally gone until you go in and actually delete it. I can edit it if I want to add or subtract information, or I can add to a SmartPlan right here. So if I click add to SmartPlan, it will come in. I won't have the ability to stagger people because I'm only adding in 1 person. So I could do that here. And then for some reason, I could come under SmartPlans and hit this button and the same window comes up. So there's certainly plenty of opportunities to be able to add people. So I'm going to go ahead and add Linda to this. And I'm going to put her on right now. And now this is a reminder that's saying that, by the way, Linda, if I don't remember to remove you from this and you get weird text messages from me, just disregard them. This is telling me that because I have Twilio set up, or if I do, that the text messages will automatically be sent. So I will hit confirm. Okay, so now I'm going to just click on my dashboard. And you're going to see that I already have 2 messages right here on my dashboard telling me that are due today, confirm her information, and call her. So I can hover on these and I can see, or if I click on it, it's going to open up the 3rd button down, which is tasks. And I can see right here, if I click on this, I get this right here. Call Linda Hartnett, call her at, here's her phone number, to check in and follow up. If I had a specific script that I wanted to say, I could just have put it in there and I wouldn't even have to look. I'm not even in Linda's contact record. I'm just in my tasks and I can see what it is. If I've done it, and it's the same with the confirming information. So, you know, with this one, I would probably come in and click on Linda's name. And then I can make sure what else. Well, you know what? I don't have her birthday. I don't have her address. I don't have, you know, any of that. I can see right here that she's subscribed right here. I can come in here and I could take her off just by unsubscribing her to that. Now, even though I've unsubscribed her, these still show up in my tasks. So I could delete them, or I could say that I did it. Now, the one thing to note is the default in the task window is today. So if you want to look at everything that you have coming up. So let's say you've put however many people on a smart plan and you come in and you say, okay, what am I doing in the next 7 days? Well, the next 7 days, I have these specific tasks to do. So I could look in and see, okay, well, I've got some live streams to catch up on. And this is just a spreadsheet, by the way, so you can make them bigger. I need to check in with Art Durkin and I need to call Frank Ford. So I already can see everything that I have coming up. So when we look at these smart plans, even though I don't have to check in with Art until the 16th, I might go ahead and just do it. And then I can click the box and say, Yahoo, it's done. And Art, checking in with Art will now move into the completed section. So if I put that, if I just sort it by the date, you can see right here, checking in with Art. So to me, this is great because now, and it's switched over to all time. So now I can see what I need to do. You know, first I need to catch up on these, then I need to call Frank, then I need to call myself, then I'm going to check in with AJ, and then I'm going to check in with Katie. I like this again because I can click on the task, I can see what it is. I can click on the contact and it opens up their record. So I've got all of that right in front of me. So by using the smart plans, whether it's even a smart plan to remind you what you need to do, because you can do that as well. Any of these things are going to pop right up in your task menu to tell you what it is that you need to do. So what questions do you have?
Well, mine are not appearing in the task menu for some reason. So got to be doing something wrong.
Do you have command open?
Not right now. I could.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, if you want,
I don't want to hold Frank up. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I can log on here.
I'll go through again, Sarah, and make sure. I know they're on there. I know they're part of a smart plan. They show up as the number of people on birthdays. And I have birthdays coming up in April. And when I hit 30 days, they don't show up.
Well, I mean, I can tell you, do I still have birthdays on here? So, all right, so I just restarted my birthday list. So my husband's birthday is coming up next week.
Yeah, yours popped right up. I noticed that, even with Linda.
Well, that was because that was for today. So I just put my husband onto that plan. And if I come to tasks, it's not showing him up here yet.
Okay, so I don't feel so bad.
So we'll have to see what I think it's not quite, maybe tomorrow is the day that it's going to come in. You know, because it is so many days out before the birthday, before the plan starts. So
And
if I just
when you refresh, now it shows you have one birthday. Yep. And now maybe it'll show up on your 30-day plan, 30-day task.
Nope. Let's see.
All right.
It's not just us?
No.
So in 2 days, actually tomorrow it should show up because my husband's birthday is on the 23rd. So if it's 6 days beforehand, hopefully his will trigger in tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
I think it's that trigger, you know, once it hits that date.
Oh, that could be, yeah, the 6 days. Okay. That may be.
And I'm, of course, thinking, how do we celebrate? I mean, is everyone just going to have a cupcake and a candle and Zoom call each other? And
Sad.
I keep teasing him because he's going to be 49. I'm like, well, we got to do it up this year. And he's like,
Has he got his AARP letter yet?
No, I think he'll get that next year.
Yeah, mine came about 6 months before I